Big baby Jesus in the house. Testing, testing.
You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to pillagingJustForFun.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans. Tune in every Tuesday on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio. Call us and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. Also, follow us on Twitter at PillageJustForFun. That's at PillageJust4 I'm your host, Kenny Stapler, joined every week by the coldest co-host in the business, Raider Cain. It's time to pillage another podcast. What's good, Cain? Yeah, for sure. We're going to talk about that. I'm excited about the Super Bowl too. But today, the biggest, juiciest news we've had in a while, Sheldon Adelson's pullout game is strong. Sheldon Adelson pulled out of the deal today. He was slighted, he felt, by the Oakland Raiders organization. I should say the Raiders organization, let me be clear. And this is sort of a bump in the road. For some, they see it as a bump. The others see it as a nudge in the right direction. What's going on right now is apparently Mark Davis submitted a proposal last week to the Las Vegas Stadium Commission, and Adelson wasn't even mentioned in the deal. Now, supposedly his money's only going towards special events in the venue, Taylor Swift concerts, stuff like that, right? Nothing about the Raiders. And don't forget that this was not a Raiders stadium deal when it started. This was a UNLV Running Rebels stadium deal. The Raiders were attached to it as well as special events, again, within that venue during off-season and such like that. What this does now is put the Raiders on the hook for $1.5 billion. Mark Davis, not concerned. He says he's got Goldman Sachs on his side. So in a way, we kind of saw this news coming. I think it was like 2 weeks ago when they announced the involvement of Goldman Sachs. When that came out, a lot of people said, well, look for Adelson to exit or get pushed out of this. And that's pretty much what's happening. So the interesting part about this is that what this turns into is just a massive loan, right? And I think it was Jason LaCanfora that on Twitter today that said that, I might be getting that wrong, but it's just a massive loan. And this is something that can get done anywhere. You can have a massive loan, let's say in the city of Oakland, for example. Now, this is also a good thing in that Adelson is now pushed out, because Adelson was sort of the fly in the ointment, as Jerry McDonald said. I thought he put it perfectly. He was the fly in the ointment for the NFL owners. They didn't like this guy, Shady Adelson, everybody calls him, third-party investor. I mean, Goldman Sachs will be bringing in third-party investment as well, but they don't like this guy. He stunk to high heaven. So this thing could be looked at either way. For pro-Vegas people, they may like this. But what I saw today, I think it was Steve Sisolak. He's a politician. He's on the Clark County Commission. I believe he's the chair. He said today that this was not a wrench in the wheel, but the wheel actually falling off the wagon. So they don't like it. And you look at it like this. Sheldon Adelson is a Vegas guy. Love him or hate him, he belongs to the city and was, as the Raiders said themselves today in their statement, a big part of bringing them to the city and getting them this far down the line. And then, what happens this week, and he gets pushed to the side. He pulls out, and Davis continues on. He's the out-of-town guy. He's got a little bit too much swagger, and he might be choking on his own deal, thinking he can get this done now in a city that has a lot of, is not run by Adelson, but this guy has major clout there. So there's some obstacles there, but there's some major swagger in that sound. There's some obstacles there, but at the same time, like I said, there's shadiness out of the way. So it depends on which side of the prism you want to look through, but I don't know where to stand right now. I got to say my gut feeling is I'm very excited. I'm a pro Oakland person. I live here in the South Bay. You know that Cain lives right in the epicenter, grew up in the epicenter right by the stadium, and he's going to tell you about that. But I feel like this is a good thing for pro Oakland people because the ball's now back in Ronnie Lott's court as far as, he no longer has to contend with the $600 million that was coming in from Adelson. Now Mark Davis is on the hook for that money. And in turn, because of the revenue sharing league, so is the rest of the ownership. So the rest of the ownership would be encumbering part of this debt along with it. So what it comes down to is bottom line. Is this profitable or not? If money could be made there and a significant amount of money could be made there and it could be shown that it could be made there, evidence-based before they get there, then I can see them swaying the vote. But I think that's a very, very, very large stretch. I think that the money that Adelson brought to the table versus what Mark's going to have to cover, what he doesn't have, what he says he probably doesn't even have already. Let's be honest. This guy doesn't have the cash. He does not have the liquid investment, and he's going in debt to get out there. Plus, he's going to take a hit to relocate, and those fees haven't even been factored in yet because those aren't static fees. They're dynamic. They change. The Rams paid like $500 million. That's a lot of extra money that we're talking about. That's his share times 2, plus the share that's now missing with Adelson that has to be paid back. I just don't see the owners voting on this. How do you see this, Cain? What's your subjective point of view or your objective point of view on this? And then, I mean, subjectively, we know where you stand as a fan, but I want you to highlight that too. Really, how do you feel just kind of looking over this objectively? Like, how do you feel? Where do we stand?
It's really hard for me to say right now, but I think that with Goldman Sachs, if Goldman Sachs is the person that the Raiders are bringing into play, I mean, we might have something to worry about, Raider fans. The NFL respects Goldman Sachs. So, with that being said, Mark Davis doesn't have any money. And this is the biggest problem that everybody else is overlooking. All of the stadium fans, all these people that want the Raiders to have a new stadium and they want them to flourish and be able to contend and all this good stuff. They're doing that in Oakland right now. Reggie McKenzie has already brought us one game, had Derek Carr not been injured, away from being a number 2 seed. So, without a new stadium. So, Goldman Sachs is going to come into play, and we'll see what they bring to the table. Mark Davis is just sitting around asking for somebody to build him a stadium. Yet, there are a lot of investors right here in the Bay Area, Facebook, Uber, Clorox. You got the Silicon Valley in your backyard that's not totally tied to the 49ers. I mean, you can go out and get investors to come and help you, but Mark, you haven't done that. And see, that's the problem with me. See, if you went out and you actually found investors that was local and they turned you down, if the city of Oakland or the investors surrounding the town told you they weren't interested in helping you building the stadium, then go to Las Vegas, bro. But you haven't done that. And that's what's disappointing. That's what's going to hurt you when you leave, because you did not faithfully try to stay here. You said you wanted to stay here, but you went to Las Vegas and found somebody to help you build a stadium. Mark Zuckerberg got money. Uber has money. Clorox has money. Ronnie Lott put a deal together with investors that's willing to pay for a stadium to get built. They have money. But you weren't business acumen enough to stick right here in the Bay Area and find somebody to help you build a stadium? No, what you did was you went to Las Vegas and found somebody to give you something. And I don't think that you really realize in the business world, nothing is given to you. Everything is earned. And Las Vegas is asking you to come there. And do you think you don't have to give up nothing to go there? You got another thought coming, Mark Davis.
Mark Davis reminds me of an 18-year-old version of myself when I got my first credit card. He just really does not understand the ramifications of what he's about to do. To put a bow on this, if I'm an NFL owner, I'm going to tell Mark like this. Look, Mark, you screwed the guy over that got you this deal in the first place. We didn't like him to begin with. Why don't you go back home and take your big money investor and your big fat loan and the relocation fees that you can't afford and work something out with the city of Oakland. And if you want a nice stadium to play in, drive down the road to Santa Clara in the meantime. Come back to the table when you're ready to play ball with the big boys.
I was just going to say, Santa Clara is right down 30 miles south of your stadium. Do you think the NFL is going to give up this market when you're right now the leading team in the market as far as football is concerned? You're the leading NFL team in this market. Do you think that the NFL is going to actually give those rights up just because you want to move to Las Vegas because somebody is giving you something? No. Get your business acumen on, bro. Handle your business. There are investors here willing to help you pay for a stadium, but you won't sit down at the table because you never wanted to stay in Oakland. You never wanted to stay in Oakland. That's what I think, because if you did, you would have already made these attachments to these people that Ronnie Lott did. You would have already sought out these people that Mark Zuckerberg right here, Facebook. You don't think Facebook want to be tied to a stadium in Oakland? Shh, please. Mark Davis, I'm ready to...
Yeah, so we got a stadium named after a pair of jeans down the highway, and we can't get something done in the middle of the tech center of the universe. There's something wrong. Mark Davis needs to be removed from power. I want to see this deal go down in flames so bad that his ginger top ignites into fire the minute the news comes across the scroll on the bottom of my TV screen. Mark Davis, you're trash. I'm backing up the truck. You're going in it. And you're not coming out until you come back to Oakland and get a deal done on the table. At least come talk to us.
Trash player of the week is Mark Davis. You the trash player of this week, Mark Davis.
Somebody send Adelson a gift basket. Send one to Mark, too. Make sure there's plenty of summer sausage inside of it. I have to apologize to our listeners. I know for some of you don't want to hear about the stadium talk. Look, I'm sick of it too, right? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of talking about it. You know how I feel. You know how Cain feels. We know how you feel. And some of you don't feel the way we feel. I'm tired of all of that. But we have a responsibility. We got to cover this. You know, we'd be idiots if we didn't talk about it. So if it sounds like I was kind of wishy-washy in the front half of the show, it's because I really don't know where to stand on this. I still feel like nothing's changed. I still feel like this is all just, I'll believe it when they're packing up the vans. How about that? You know, I just, until the NFL owners vote, I don't even know what to think. Cain, you brought up a point earlier because where is the real news in any of this? You can't really talk to anybody, right? Davis is lips tight. He's adamant. He's going. None of the organization is going to tell you anything but spin. All they're going to tell you is that everything's fine. And the reporters don't have any real news. All they have is what comes out in the news. And so there's really no information here. I really don't feel like anything's changed, but we had to cover it. We had to talk about it. And we'll continue to talk about it if we have to. In the meantime, we got football to talk about, so we're going to catch you guys on the other side. We'll come back. We'll be talking about Super Bowl, and we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Raiders Super Bowls as well. So catch us on the flip side. We've got some callers coming up. I think we got a long call. Bear with us. This is a big rant. Shout out to Raider Rockstar on the vlog. I see you. Cain, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Hey, y'all, look, I'm passionate about this team, man. I'm from the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised. When I walked out my front door, we had a view of the Oakland Coliseum. 18 years of my life, I walked out of my front door and I saw that Oakland Coliseum in front of my house. You understand me? So all these people that want the Raiders to move to Vegas, okay, that's cool, but I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? This team means more to me than just the Oakland Raiders. You understand me? So the A's, Warriors, Raiders. I grew up watching Ricky Henderson, Shooty Babbitt, Tony Armas, you know what I'm saying, Dwayne Murphy, you know what I'm saying, Mike Davis, Mike Norris, people y'all don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, this stadium, when you come on here talking about, oh, it's a dump, this, that, and the other, old dump, coal, whatever you want to call it, don't come here. Don't come here. And when they move to Vegas, you can't afford to go there. So all about them moving to Vegas, I ain't with that. And I'm going to cut you down every time you come at me about it. Peace.
You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, companion podcast to PillagingJustForFun.com, the only Raider fan site made by Raider fans for Raider fans, featuring fan-submitted articles and the most lively Raider Nation conversation on the internet. Follow us on Twitter, @PillageJustForFun. That's @PillageJust4Fun. Also, tune in every Tuesday on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher Radio.
Cain and Kenny. Good morning, it's 3:03. It's been a little while since I've called. It's been busy. Hey guys, I want to clarify myself. Understand, I'm from the Bay Area. I love the Bay Area. Grew up in San Jose. Had season tickets before I left to Denver. Love going to Raider games. Love to tailgate. There's no better tailgate in the world than Raider Nation with the West Coast hip-hop, the DJs, everything that goes on. However, when I went this earlier, where I went to the game 2 in Atlanta, it was the first time I brought my son to a game. And I'll tell you what, that area needs to be a better place. I get it. We all want to keep things the same, but Oakland needs to step up and pay up if they want to keep the Raiders. Otherwise, they're going to go to Vegas, and it's going to be a done deal. And I'm going to enjoy those games and experiences with my family. So this is not hate on Oakland, the city, the hills. The 580 side is beautiful. Oakland downtown is gorgeous. We're talking about the Coliseum specifically. It's beyond overdue for our great Raiders to have a wonderful stadium. Anyways, I'm out, gentlemen. Have a wonderful week and weekend. Go Raiders.
Hey there, Cain, Kim, the rest of the PJFF family. This is Podunk Raider, a.k.a. RRS. I'm just sitting here drinking coffee, representing the Raider Nation from the great state of Missouri, bleeding silver and black all over my desk. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about the O-line. I would consider the strength of the team. So everybody knows if you want to win in this league, you've got to be able to run and throw the football. And you can't do that if your quarterback doesn't have protection and your running backs don't have running lanes. So I think we're looking good right now for the most part with 3 Pro Bowlers in Penn and Hudson and Osemele, plus another very good player in Gabe Jackson. I'd say we got the best interior O-line in the league, but I'd like us to evaluate the tackle position this offseason. It appears we have a liability at right tackle. So I'd like to take a trip down memory lane with you guys to the 2013 draft. And like Chris Carter and Keyshawn Johnson might say, I'm giving Reggie the, come on, man.
We're back. You had a chance to listen to some words from our callers, our community. Make sure you check us out over on PillagingJustForFun.com. Come for the podcast, read the articles, stay for the comments. We've been out there for about 10 years now. We switched to this new website, but this community is over a decade old. We invite you to join us in conversation. Come meet us at tailgates or even in your hometown at a Raiders bar near you. It's Super Bowl week, Cain. We're not in it. We could have been in it. We already talked about that, so it's time to talk about who is in it. And it's the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. Right now, the Patriots are favored in this game by 3 points, which is pretty much a pick-em game as far as I'm concerned. The over-under is set at, I think it's 58.5. So they're looking for this to be a fairly high-scoring game. Looking at this game, it's got a lot of facets to it. You have two very potent offenses. You have Matt Ryan, who's shown promise for a long time, finally getting over the hump. He was the number one quarterback this year. The Falcons had the top offense this year. They scored 30 points in 13 games. They were held to under 20 points, I think just once, if I'm getting that right. And then you have the New England Patriots, the number 3 offense, obviously manned by Tom Brady. And we don't really have to say much more about him. New England also had the top scoring defense, however. So we're looking at these two teams on the other side of the ball. You can say the offense is a wash. Let's look at their defense. Atlanta ranked 27th. New England number 1 in scoring on defense. So New England scoring on both sides of the ball, able to get the ball in the end zone no matter what's going on in the game. If going up against strong defenses, New England's still a threat on the other side of the ball. Is the point. New England faced 6 top 10 defenses, in fact, and the record against those teams were 5-1. Atlanta played in only 4 of those games against top 10 defenses, and they went 2-2. So, all right, this seems fairly obvious in New England's favor, right? We'll start looking at the offenses that New England faced up against. New England played 5 games against top 10 scoring offenses. They were 4-1 in those games. Atlanta, they played 7 games, and they were 6-1 in those games. Look closer at the quarterbacks they faced, and the 2 top 10 guys that New England faced were Russell Wilson and Ben Roethlisberger, whereas Atlanta played Derek Carr, Drew Brees twice, Cam Newton twice, Aaron Rodgers twice, Russell Wilson twice, Phillip Rivers twice, and they went 8-2, averaging 27 points a game. How do you call this game?
Didn't they play Jameis Winston twice too?
They did play Jameis Winston. I don't think he was a consensus top 10 guy this year, but definitely a dangerous quarterback. Definitely a talented individual. How do you call this game? I mean, it's tough. It's tough. You look at it from different angles, and much like the Raiders stadium deal, it can go one way or the other. I mean, I like New England just because of the veteranship on that squad. I mean, I don't like New England. I'm saying I would have them as the favorite, but I think Atlanta's definitely dangerous and will be who I'm rooting for on Sunday. But I'm going to root Atlanta, but I'd have to give the edge New England. What say you? Who do you like in this game?
Well, first of all, I want to say the Oakland Stadium deal can only go one way, and that's the Oakland way. With that being said, I think Atlanta, if they can get past the shock of being in the Super Bowl, I think they actually got the better team. I mean, real well-rounded better team. New England has Tom Brady. They got the what's the running back? I can't think his name right now off the top of my head, but
his name was LeGarrette Blount, right?
Okay, LeGarrette Blount. Okay, LeGarrette Blount. They got LeGarrette Blount, and they got a pretty good defense that's been playing pretty good all season. So this game is what it's going to boil down to, is whose team can play better defense, because both offenses are explosive. We know Matt Ryan is going to come to play. We know Tom Brady is going to come to play. So, with that being said, whose ever team defense, like I said the week before with Atlanta and Green Bay.
Like I said, Atlanta ranked anywhere from 25th to 27th in defense, and the Patriots have the top scoring defense in the league. So New England was able to slow teams down, but to your point, Atlanta actually beat better quarterbacks, even though their defensive ranking was so low. But that wasn't so much defense. Atlanta was winning shootouts, while the Patriots do have a better defense. Atlanta was able to win the shootout. So it's like their offense overcomes for their defensive shortcomings. You feel me?
Did they play a defense as good as New England's all season?
They played 4 top 10 defenses and they went 2-2. New England ranked better against top defenses. They went 5-1.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm gonna still stick with Atlanta. You know, I mean, any way you spin it, I'm gonna stick with Atlanta. I don't think I'm a Raider fan. So I'm not finna root for the Patriots to win anything. And if you wanted me to look at it objectively, then Tom Brady has got the upper hand on Atlanta. So yes, if Atlanta gets scared and they come out and they get scared of Tom Brady and the New England Patriots and all this other stuff, then they're gonna lose. You know, but if they come out and they come out sound and ready to play and Matt Ryan shows up, then they'll win the game. They're the better team. They're the better, well-rounded team. I don't care what you say. Tom Brady got 2 joke wide receivers who you ain't never even heard of. And if you shut them down, then who does he have to go to? The running back? LeGarrette Blount. That's it. Because Hogan and whoever else he got on the receiving court, they're nobody. So if Atlanta's defense shows up and plays football and their cornerbacks shut down Tom Brady's weapons, guess what? He has nothing. And then you look at on the Atlanta side, Atlanta has Julio Jones. Atlanta has Tevin Coleman. They got a running game. They got a passing game with legitimate players on their side of the ball. There's no way they shouldn't win this game unless they get scared of the highlights, unless they let Tom Brady scare them. If they show up, they win, period.
Yeah, I like the idea of Atlanta in a dome on the track. That's kind of where they play high-flying offense or real quick. But again, like the Patriots, the veteranship there, and the coaching staff. You got Bill Belichick. He's got 2 weeks to prepare for this. Over in Atlanta, you got Kyle Shanahan, offensive coordinator, busy signing contracts or talking contracts with the 49ers. I'm just throwing shade. But, yeah, I'd like to see Atlanta win this game. I have a feeling that it's in New England's favor, but I don't know. Never count out the up-and-comer, you know, never count out the small dog in a dogfight. I think Atlanta's offense can give New England fits. I really think that they're the real deal. That's a high-octane offense. And, yeah, New England, your defense is good. We're about to find out how good it is. True, defense wins championships, but sometimes there are offenses that defenses just can't handle. So I would love to see that. Anytime the Super Bowl comes around, part of my childhood growing up, I'd be watching the specials on TV, NFL films. They would get to airing like their marathon of all the Super Bowls that they covered, all the dramatic, cinematic NFL films, documentaries, and of course, I'd stay up late at night and I'd watch the Raiders ones. I grew up watching old Raiders games on VHS tapes. How I became a fan was watching, Redskins and the Eagles Super Bowl wins that we had on tapes that my dad had recorded. I was born in 1977. I was around when those Super Bowls happened. I was really young. Not too long after is when I fell in love with the Raiders by watching the replays of those games. So I wanted to take time and ask you about, maybe you can just share one memorable Raiders Super Bowl experience. You got a couple years on me, Cain, so I know you were really around for those Super Bowls. So respect to you. If you could share maybe a story or a highlight or something with us this time of year, I start to get nostalgic.
I guess if you only my age or a little bit older or maybe a couple years younger, you might only really respect this story. But when I was a kid, we was watching the Super Bowl on a 13-inch black and white television in the kitchen, in my kitchen, 81. Kenny King running down the sideline. That was watched by me in my kitchen with the TV on top of my microwave that we had just got, that everybody was excited about. Yeah, so that's pretty big for me, man. I mean, that's I was only 10 years old, so I'm 46. So I mean, that's all I can remember. That's all my old brain can muster up is me standing in the kitchen watching Kenny King run for a touchdown. My grandpa standing up screaming in the background. We in the kitchen, mind you. Not in the living room, not in the dining room, not in the den, because we had all that. We wasn't in a shotgun house. We was in a pretty fat house on the Oakland Hills, but we was in the kitchen watching the game. So that's what I remember.
Man, that's classic. Thank you for sharing that.
You're the real MVP.
We appreciate that. What are you doing for the Super Bowl? You got Super Bowl plans? I know you like to cook. You got any special recipes, any menu items you want to share with us? Anything going on? Any traditions? Where you going to be at?
Shit, I'm just going to be with my old lady, man. Just chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably going to cook some Kill the Patriot wings, you know, and go with that Atlanta Hawk. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I'm just going to chill out, man. I'm not even really tripping, man. To be honest with you, I hope the Atlanta Falcons beat the New England Patriots. But to be honest with you, bro, I really don't care. Derek Carr getting injured really kind of like season. I mean, it's really shut me down on football. I didn't watch the Pro Bowl, you know what I'm saying, which I never really do anyway, but and Raider players didn't show up. I mean, ever since Derek Carr got hurt, man, my football season pretty much ended, man. You know, and I think that I speak for the Raider fans as a whole with that. So, you know, good luck to the Atlanta Falcons. I hope y'all win. You know, the Patriots, they cheating ass don't need nothing else. And, you know, go Raiders. Always.
Always go Raiders. I think that the Patriots losing this year would actually be good for football. Folks are just getting tired of those dudes. I mean, this isn't even a Raiders thing anymore. People are really just tired of seeing the Patriots win. All right, man. Yeah, thanks for sharing everything. It's been a great show. It's been a hell of a season with you. We're going to keep it pushing through the offseason. We'll be talking about free agency soon. Unfortunately, probably some more stadium news. And, of course, we'll be covering the draft. And then eventually, before you know it, we'll be in training camp. And it'll be that time of year again. All right, y'all. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you again next Tuesday on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher Radio. Follow us on Twitter. You can call us any week, actually any time of the day, whatever. You can leave a message at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'll play it on the air. The number is 408-909-PJFF. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined every week by my co-host,
Raider Cain.
And we out here. Peace. Go Raiders.
Raiders.